What is going on, everybody? It is Ghostman here. You may notice I'm at home. It's gonna be my last trucking-related video. I'm moving into not exactly a new career, but something that I've just wanted to do for a long time. But I left Prime. So fat now. Um, so I was on a load. I had some home time. I was at home. I left to go to. Actually, I was on home time to pick up something. So I actually was only home for like half a day. On my leave, I go to Maine to drop off the load that I had, and I get there, and a company, JB Hunt, calls me, and they offer me a regional job. And I think, a regional job, be wonderful. I'd be home more often, yada yada. I'm really excited about it. They offer me $1,300 a week, mandatory reset, mandatory 34 every week. I'm like, all right. So I get with them. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to take this because a lot of stuff had been going on at my house. And I'd just rather be home, especially if I can get paid, a decent amount. So I tell them that I'll get back to them the next day. So I call my dispatcher and everything. And basically, at this point, I'd already decided that I wasn't going to stay with Prime. But I talk with him, and he's like, really think it over. So I'm like, all right. So for this night, after I dropped off my load, I had the whole day off. So I'm looking over my pay stubs and everything. Because of course I wanted to make sure I was going to be making, roughly the same amount. I mean, 1,300 I thought was going to be less. But I look at my pay stubs, and in the 4 months that I'd been there, I averaged about $1,000 pre-tax per week. And I didn't have any major repairs. I wasn't, sitting on my ass every week. I was running my clock 65, 60 or so hours a week. Every week, running on recaps. I wasn't doing 34-hour resets unless, there was no load near me or whatever. And I was only taking home $1,000 a week. To break that down for you, I did the math before, but $1,000 a week is not that much. To put things into perspective, if you work 60 hours a week and you made $1,000, that's $16 an hour. Well, 16 and a half. Let's say I was making $1,500, right? Take home, work 60 hours. That's $25 an hour. There are local jobs where I can be home every night making that much. And so for me, the money wasn't good enough. And people, I know everybody's going to say, oh, you shouldn't have went lease, you should have went company, or, this is your fault because you're new, you're not good at leasing, blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. I'm not saying that that I made the best decision when I went lease. I'm not saying that that the choices that I made were the best, but that's why I left Prime. To Prime's credit, when I went to leave, first off, I had a nighttime dispatcher who I dislike so much, who was on when I decided I was going to leave. So I tell them I'm going to leave. I go, they're like, all right. I told them I would pick up the load that I already accepted, which was going to Indiana if I could drop it in Pittston, and they said, yeah, that was fine. There was a lot of time on this load, so it wasn't like they were going to have trouble finding another driver for it, and it didn't pay well either, so I feel like I kind of did them a favor by taking it. But anyways, I get to Pittston, I turn my keys in and everything. Wasn't a big deal. They didn't ask for any payment or anything. I assume they're going to bill me eventually once they figure out how much I owe for my CDL, but they haven't yet. The people who I spoke with, because the actual normal turn-in truck people weren't there, said that it would be prorated because I'd been there 7 or 8 months, something like that. So I'm hoping to pay considerably less than $5,000. The one other thing that I want to say about this whole trucking experience is that trucking is as much a mental thing as it is it's mostly a mental thing. if you want to go work 60 to 65 hours a week, making, $20 an hour, fair enough. But you're not really making more money. You're just working more hours. So for me, it's not worth it. There's plenty of companies I could work for. I could work, at home. I could work 2 jobs, with each of them paying me 18, 19 an hour. Work just as many hours and be home every night. Not have to worry about other drivers crashing into me, things happening to my load, timings getting off, flat tires. The money isn't worth it, truthfully, for the amount of stress. Now, there are some people, like Driver Lineup, I talked about him a lot on my channel. You can go check out his channel. He's a team driver, and his wife's on the road with him. He has a dog on the road with him. It makes it a lot easier when you're on the road with people with you. I think mentally it makes it easier. But even then, even if my wife had been with me, like at $1,000 a week, I couldn't have my wife just come on the road with me and just hang out with me. She'd have to drive. And I don't want to be I don't want to be in a team truck anymore. I didn't want to be in a team truck once I was done with training. So then I thought about the JB Hunt job. So the JB Hunt job paid $1,300 a week, with a mandatory 34-hour reset. And originally I thought, oh, that'll be great, right? Mandatory 34-hour reset. I'll be home every weekend. But then I got to thinking about it, right? Why would they have a mandatory 34-hour reset? Because they're going to have you drive your whole clock every day. You're probably going to be driving 10 hours a day. And I honestly wasn't interested. That's every day, and then you have a 34. So you get like 24 hours at home, because it's only going to be 5 back to your house or so, 5 hours wasted. And then 5 hours wasted again to get to your next load or whatever. Actually scratch that. Once you get home, you'll have your 34 a day and a half, like really. And for 20 of those hours, not 20, 16 of those hours, you're probably going to be asleep. So really, it's 16 hours at home. No. Anyways, it's not that much time at home. Once you break down that pay, $1,300 for 60 hours of work, it's like, I think it's like $18 an hour. Oh, no, it's $21.50 an hour. Is that good pay? Sure, for an unskilled labor job, yeah. But I don't want to work that many hours. Especially doing something that's so boring that has no... Here's the other problem that a lot of people don't think about when they think about trucking. There's no going up without taking on huge risk. If I'm making that $21 an hour, that's what I'm going to make for the next 40, 50 years. Unless I buy another truck and put somebody else in there, and then I got to hope that they don't crash the truck. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. Even once you factor in like inflation, like sure, you'll get small raises as time goes on. And right now, with fuel being high, I mean, hopefully it comes down, but maybe it doesn't. You're basically just stuck at whatever wage you're at. And I think the greatest example of this is that you see older truck drivers that have been career truckers making less than I was making as a brand new trucker. I'd stop at truck stops and I'd see these guys making less money than me. We'd talk. They'd tell me how much they made per mile, how many miles they did per week, and they're making less than $1,000 a week. So it's pretty disappointing, the whole experience. The other thing that I want to stress to everybody is that one of the things that people think is that you get to travel the country. It's a freaking fly flying around. You travel the country, but you don't see anything. You might as well just be moving in a box. You don't go from place to place and then get to experience anything. You're stopped there for a few hours and then you're gone. All in all, it's like It's like if you worked at Walmart, but then your Walmart was in a different town each day. Like you walked in the door, and then when you walked outside on break, it was in a different town for that day. You don't see anything. You don't get to experience anything. Sorry about that. It's a very I'm not gonna say like it's a terrible life. Like if you're into that, if you're into just hanging out in the truck, like so be it. But it's not the life for me. And that's what it comes down to. So I turned down the JB Hunt job. I'm not gonna take it. And as it is right now, I have a job that I'm gonna work with my parents. My parents run a very successful business. My stepdad is a very successful chemical engineer. I'm gonna be working for them for a while. I have quite a bit of money saved up, and I'm gonna try getting into something that I really like. I'm not gonna talk about that right here, but please stay tuned for that. It will be a whole new career, something that I've never done, and it's a dumb idea, but we're gonna follow it through. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions about Prime, if you have anything that you want more detail on for why I left, how much they're, eventually I'll come up with a video that I'll detail how much they're actually charging me for my CDL and stuff. That's all I got for you guys today. Anyways, I want to thank all of you guys for being along for the ride. There are a lot of you who were here from the beginning. And I just want to say thanks, and I hope that you guys will continue to watch once you see what my next career is going to be. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you all stay safe out there.